Hi, how you doing?
We have fun in this class all the time.
That's a good thing.
Um, Governor, I'm Ray Lauk. We met at the Capitol and the EKU is there. Welcome back to EKU. We're delighted that you're here. This is Management 301, management for non-business majors. So we've got 60 students in the class, a lot of aviation people, construction management, healthcare people, and a variety of exercise and sports science, variety of others. And they have crafted some very thoughtful questions. So I'm going to get out of the way and let them ask their questions to you.
Sounds good. It's your chance to interrogate the governor. Go for it.
Hi, my name is Presley Ray. I'm a junior in Health Services Administration. And my question was, why did you want to go into politics?
Well, so originally, when I was growing up, this is what my dad did. He'd been a state representative before I was born. He was attorney general when I was really young. He was lieutenant governor when I was 6 to 10, and then he lost a governor's race, and then actually later a U.S. Senate race. And growing up, I thought I was supposed to run for things, and think about in high school or the rest, and I lost everything. I mean, everything I would run for, I wouldn't just come in second, I would come in last. And in thinking about it, I think it was because I was doing what I thought I was supposed to do instead of what I wanted to do, that it was more expectation than the why that should drive you to make different decisions. So I was good being out of that, practicing as an attorney. And then in 2007, 20 years after my dad lost a governor's race, after trying to convince some other people to do it, he said, "Andy, I've got a crazy idea." And he said, I'm gonna run. And I realized at that moment that I had a chance to help a dad achieve a dream he thought was dead. And I couldn't think of anything as a son better that I could do than to help him achieve that dream. And ended up pulling out that election in 2007. Here he is probably at the end of his career. I'm a 30-year-old lawyer, I think, at the time, helping out. And then I got to watch him. I got to be in the room where it happens. And I watched him expand Medicaid, and 500,000 Kentuckians that had never had coverage before, ever, all of a sudden could go see a doctor. We saw improvements on cancer rates. And then just think, by the way, about where we would have been in this pandemic if we had not expanded Medicaid, because that kept rural hospitals open. When you think about rural parts of Kentucky, typically about 70% of the patient makeup is Medicaid. But I got to see him also fight for people in so many different ways. So as his second term was expiring, I decided to run for attorney general. And for me, that's a legal job. That's one of the highest callings. You get to crusade every day. And you also get to pick those things that matter so much to you and focus on them. So I ran for attorney general, first of all, to take on this drug epidemic head on. When I was AG, I sued more opioid manufacturers and distributors than any other attorney general in the country. We got a current attorney general that's settling those suits. This one filed them. We arrested more child predators, being a dad of young kids than ever before in that history. And we launched a group to address human trafficking and child abuse, which was desperately needed. And so I ran for attorney general because I thought that I could use my law degree to do some really incredible things. I ran for governor, admittedly, because I thought I had to. I did not like the direction that the state was going in, and I did not like, frankly, the meanness that the last governor acted, not just towards other people, but even around the Capitol. You would just feel all this negativity. And I wanted my kids to be able to turn on the television and other people's and see their governor, and whether or not they agreed with them politically, right? To see a role model, someone that didn't show our kids the wrong things to do, but should try to show them the right things to do. Again, regardless of party and regardless of those issues. Now, I can say my term as governor, I mean, you certainly don't run knowing you're going to have a pandemic, worse tornadoes, worse flooding, 2 ice storms, a polar plunge. Did y'all know it could get negative 45 degrees Wind chill in Kentucky, we all learned that. And by the way, right before Christmas Eve, when everybody's saying, well, if the power's going to go out, you better tell me right now when it's going to go out because I'm cooking Christmas dinner. Even inflation and a war in Europe going on right now, all this occurring in my first term as governor. Though I did learn the other day through Twitter, apparently I've been banned by Russia. They're digging pretty deep if they got to me. So thank you for the question.
I'm just going to make one adjustment first.
All right. It still won't make me look any better.
Hello, my name is Kelly Hilton, and I am a junior in Health Service Administration.
God bless you.
And my question is, after being a leader during major catastrophes like the COVID pandemic, major flooding in Eastern Kentucky, and tornadoes in Western Kentucky, what motivates you to stay in office?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And first, let me talk about responding to those disasters. I think leadership and takes a combination of competency and empathy, right? Being able to get things done. You have to produce results in any of the businesses that you all are looking at. You need to be good at it, right? You need to be able to motivate your people and get results. But the other thing you got to do is really care about other people. And empathy is about being able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, even if it hasn't happened to you. And people need to see that from their governor at the toughest of moments. The tornadoes were very personal to me. My dad's hometown of Dawson Springs, 75% of every structure was wiped out. I knew every inch of that town, and I would stand and look 6 blocks around. Nothing was left standing. I couldn't tell where I was, and the trauma would just pour into you. People needed me to be there to promise we'd rebuild, but they also needed you to just be there and to be there with them and to recognize their trauma. Give that hug that's there. Flooding, the same. Oh, did I pause? Can you still hear me? I think I can hear y'all, but the screen is frozen. Okay.
There we go. There we go.
All good?
We're back.
And so I think that's a little bit about the leadership during. Hopefully this is holding up. But when you look at why to come back and why to continue doing it, I think we're actually turning the page, moving from a time of great difficulty to one of potential prosperity. Our economy is on fire in a way that I have never seen. Our 2 best years of economic development, becoming the electric vehicle battery production capital of the United States of America, bringing in new jobs and new types of jobs that we have never, ever seen. A bigger, brighter future for all of you all to chase your dreams here in Kentucky. We've got a chance to change it all. I truly believe that. We're getting picked over other states. We're building the largest battery plant in the world. And we're building its twin next door. We're building the cleanest, greenest recycled paper mill on planet Earth, new green steel and aluminum. I got to announce a steel factory in Bell County and a distillery in Fulton County, far east, far west on the same day. Richmond, my goodness, and Madison County exploding with new jobs. So what keeps me going is we got a chance to do something incredibly special, and I mean that's all of us, to create the Kentucky we've always dreamed of and to be an economic powerhouse in the post-COVID economy. That's possible. In the end, I'm motivated by the 12 and 13-year-olds that call me dad. At least when they're happy with me, they call me that. They've got other names for me when they're not. But that's something worth fighting for, and it's certainly what keeps me going. And I'm as optimistic right now, by the way, about the future. Even though when you turn on the TV, everything's a crisis. I am more optimistic about our future here in Kentucky than ever before. I think we're frozen again.
There. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, sir. My name is Daniel Green. I'm a junior here at EKU studying exercise science, and as you can tell, I'm in the Army ROTC program. And my question for you is, do you get nervous speaking in front of hundreds of people and crowds? And if so, how do you deal with it?
Well, first, thank you for your service. We appreciate you. We need you. And our goal is to be the most military-friendly state in the country. We're doing a whole lot, especially on military spouses right now. So when you move, people don't have to get a new license to do different things. Now, listen, public speaking is all about practice. It's all about practice. And the more times you do it, the easier that it becomes. The other thing is when you're speaking publicly, a lot of us think that each time that you speak, you should have a separate, different message. But oftentimes it's the exact opposite, right? If you say something different to every crowd that you talk to, they all come away with different messages. And so one part about public speaking is about having the discipline to speak to a crowd oftentimes about the same really important things, even if it's the same crowd that you've talked to before. And when you do it, the only person that's bored is you. You think other people might be, but especially messages of hope and how we move forward are things that get everybody excited. I do think the number one most important thing in public speaking isn't the content, and that might be surprising. It's your enthusiasm. Right? How much you are interested and expressive and excited about what you are talking about. That has a real impact on your audience. And until you're fully comfortable, fake it. We all do. There are still days that I do. And I think that I believe some different rules about public speaking than certainly I was taught. I mean, when you get into politics, they say never know you don't know the answer. Don't show too much emotion, and then COVID hits. And we are all emotional messes, and you have to be really raw in a time like that. And there are so many questions that we didn't know the answer for. And thus, I think the last thing I'd say is be authentic about who you are. It's okay to be personal, and it's okay to convey a message personally.
Sorry about that, Governor.
That's okay. How much did you get?
We got the energy, the enthusiasm part, and I think that's the key up until the part about faking it.
And I'd say be authentic. Make sure that your delivery is who you are.
We have time for one more question. Yeah. Do you have time for one more question?
Sure.
You have time for one more question if the internet actually holds up.
When you're the governor, you can extend the time.
My name.
Nope, it's just me. You can really see the grid. There you are.
Say your question again.
I didn't hear the question.
Say your.
Okay. With there being such a divide. Okay, here it is. With there being such a divide in the country and state, what are some ways to get people from both parties to agree on a solution to a problem?
Yeah, the first is we got to talk to people like they're people, right? Not talk at people, but talk to people. Talk to people first about their kids, about their life, about your shared experiences. It's a lot harder to argue with somebody after you get to know them and know them better. But the other thing is for you all, voters, leaders, just demand it. I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted by the partisanship, about how everything now is partisan. They talk about national security like it's partisan, which was never the case. You know, the security of the United States of America ought to be something we're all in on. Uh, and even the tiniest things. Somehow a Mr. Potato Head becomes partisan and arguments between people. I think we, right, as the people of Kentucky, but as the people of America, really need to just say, stop it. You know, don't act in a way in government that would get you fired at work, because the way people talk to each other in government or in politics would have anyone's anyone terminated at their work. But the other thing is, part of the narrative out there is driven by media, which, when you have clashing, creates bigger ratings. We do a lot together. Here in Frankfurt, you just don't hear about it nearly as much. I mean, together we put $500 million in water and sewer grants that have more than 14,000 Kentucky homes getting water for the very first time. We did the biggest investment in the history of broadband, though I now know where we need to send some more of that money, and are going to have more coming, a chance to hook up every single home across Kentucky. We're doing more on roads and bridges. We announced the biggest infrastructure grant in U.S. history we got for the Brent Spence Companion Bridge in northern Kentucky. Together, we're four-laning the Mountain Parkway all the way to Prestonsburg. So there's a lot that we do together. It's just not as dramatic, but it is. I mean, it's out of control. I mean, when did we start forming our opinion on people not based on the content of their character, but by the letter that might appear at the end of their name, and starting to judge people whether they're good or bad, or their ideas are good or bad, simply by a party box they checked? You know, that's not us being good people, and it doesn't support good policy. So I would demand more, then I would demand better from everybody that you vote for, and I will try to set the right example there. And if I fail, let me know about it, because I work for you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Governor. I know you've got to get down the road. I think you're coming to Madison County.
I am.
Actually, to our library in the county. So thank you very much. We appreciate your time and your insights. And we hope to see you again soon.
And if it's holding up, let me just
And
say
we apologize for the internet.
no problem to everybody in the room. You all aren't young leaders.
Thank you, Governor.
You're just leaders. Keep it up. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thanks.